Good Day Sunshine is more my vibe.
So let me just get everyone up to speed here. You know, I was in the studio last couple of days, and I had to use an Apollo Twin, a Universal Audio Apollo Twin, as opposed to, you know, the whole setup I have at home, which involves like, you know, 2 Apollo 8, you know, all that kind of stuff. And
impressive.
And somehow it's just completely decided, like, arbitrarily to change my I/O. So, Trevor, maybe that's why you're Beatlesy and you're wide left in the monitors.
Probably.
What happened was, first of all, when you logged on,
Yep.
Trevor and I had an extremely Beatlesy slapback on our vocal.
Yeah,
it was really sick.
It was a bit of a slower slap, single slap, more "Oh Darling" than Instant Karma.
Yeah.
And then what happened is you changed a few settings, and instantly Trevor was hard pan Beatlesy backing vocals.
It was.
Stereo CD, stereo mixes, early 70s
Yeah.
stereo mixes, backing vocal hard pan.
Yeah, I just don't dare press anything right now because, you know, last time I tried to change it and it crashed my computer. So this is just probably, just for anyone listening, this is probably, I was going to mix a song today. I'd imagine probably what I'll do is spend the entire day trying to figure out what the hell's going on with my AD converters.
Yeah, gearsluts.com kind of day.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Gearspace, don't dead name it.
I'm so sorry.
And well, probably more like youtube.com.
Also, Johnny, what your whole look is really
I'm looking
strange.
insane currently.
You do.
You look awesome. You look like you're about to commit murder.
I'm insane. So we usually do the pod at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
And what I realized about doing it at noon is high noon.
High noon.
The sun is directly in my window in front of my computer. And I went to Home Hardware today to get Dowling to put a curtain up here.
They don't have home hardware, I don't think, in the States.
No, whatever.
More
It's
of
worth
a Home Depot.
No, it's not. It's worth
better than Home Depot.
worth actually explaining.
It's a mom and pop. It's like people individually own each one. Franchise. It's a very like hometown feel. Everyone is different, really friendly staff, not a big box vibe. You call, somebody answers, you know, and there's one in like every town
It's very Canadian.
It's wonderful.
in Canada.
We would call that like a McClendon's here in the Northwest.
Sure. Okay.
Washington, on the east side of Seattle. It's more of an east side approach.
But yeah, so I didn't have time to put it up, and I'm getting blasted by winter fall sunshine.
Well,
in
that's
my face.
beautiful. It looks it is that silver light, the silver light of the sun. Silver
I mean, it's
sun,
nice to look out the window. I just can't see whether I'm recording or see any of your faces, but that's okay.
Johnny looks like he's about to like rob a drugstore for $2.
Yeah.
Why are you
Hardware
hard
store.
left though? Like in my headphones.
Okay.
Like it is Beatlesy, but
great-
why? Like
It's a-
why
it's a-
is?
It's a great question.
Did you do it on purpose?
Have you guys ever attempted to mix anything that way before?
It's
Hell yeah, dude.
nauseating.
Have you actually committed to it?
Like maybe like once or twice.
Yeah,
What are we talking about? Hard panning what? A lead
Well,
vocal?
okay, like I was listening to a mix that I did.
I just want you guys to know I've pressed on my passive, in my passive monitoring section of my room. I've just pressed the mono button because I was starting to feel nauseous. Yeah.
Smart.
He's still on the left to me.
Yeah, but I'm saying for me, I've fixed it after the
Oh,
fact.
you can. Oh, yeah. I guess I could do
Post.
that too, couldn't I?
Yeah, you need a mono pressing.
I mean,
I
I'm
do.
doing it with hardware.
guess-
I'd be scared to touch anything on my computer right now.
There. Here we go. Mono. Talk, Trev.
Hey, it's me.
Oh, dude, it worked. Sick.
Nice.
Amazing.
See, that's how long it takes to not want to do Beatlesy style mixes.
Well,
Yeah,
I
that's what-
gotta say, I heard a mix recently that came out that I did where the bass was panned hard left,
Yeah.
and it fucking ruled.
Well,
Yeah, bass is cool. I listened to one
the
and
Amy
two that I
Mann
did.
record,
Yeah.
The Forgotten Arm, has a lot of that on it. And it always sounds good to me.
That's tight.
There's a lot of records that I've listened to that, like on the LP in my stereo, and I'm just bopping to it, and it sounds sick.
Yeah.
And then a lot of like Motown, like stereo mixes that they did probably after or whatever. And I'm just like, this sounds amazing. I love it. And then I'll go on a run or something and hear it in AirPods. And then I'll be like, oh, this sounds fucking crazy, you know? But if you're just listening to it in a stereo environment, it's not nearly as
jarring.
Wild. Yeah, as jarring, yeah. You know.
Little trick for anyone, any kind of up-and-coming mixers in the game here. Little trick I like to employ when you're starting any kind of song with a single element on one of the sides, be it left or right.
Whoa.
Is extend the stereo width on the master bus by about 20%, and it'll fold a little bit back in on the other side, phase-wise.
You crazy mofo.
And you don't even really hear it, but it doesn't make your ears feel as weird for that second. And then just turn it off.
Should we talk about all of our different panning approaches for a second here, since we're doing such a Beatlesy
Maybe
app?
we should first of all say this is Impossible
topic,
Way of Life, your bi-weekly rock and roll podcast.
Mostly Beatles.
Joined here by producer, engineer, and mixer to the stars.
Yeah.
Wow.
The indie West Coast stars mostly. Trevor Spencer, who is someone that Johnny and me have both been able to get to know separately in different circumstances over the years, and has been on the podcast before and wanted to specifically come on, I believe, bring in his kind of American partisan approach. Started sending us about a week ago some pretty threatening messages about you don't dare leave me off the Ram ranking episode.
Are you scared? That kind of stuff. Are you afraid to have me on to defend
That's actually,
Ram?
And for anyone who's not got the $20 premium video access, you won't be able to see. He's actually right now, we don't know where he is, but he's in full camo, kind of Unabomber style kind of approach in the woods. We don't know where. Just kind of Ruby Ridging it for Ram.
I'm going to say, if you don't, you might want to upgrade and pay the 20 or 50 today for this video, because there's a lot of fucked up shit going on. Yeah.
Well, I'd also just say to everybody listening, who's not a Patreon subscriber, I'm just doing a little legwork for you guys here.
For sure.
Thanks, buddy.
Pony up. Where's the $5? Let's make these guys some fucking money.
Seriously.
Because we know that it,
it
doesn't always pay to pan the drums hard left. Yeah,
exactly.
that too.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
No, but you're right. It doesn't always pay to pan the drums hard left. And I know what you were going to say there. Our podcast is kind of the podcasting equivalent of a hard left drum panning.
It certainly is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is.
And you know what? Let's go $50 out there, people. I want to see some calls for $50 today, because, what can you? I mean, you guys always talk about what can you get for $5,
and everyone's saying that all the time.
It's not much, and I would extend that to what can you get for $50.
I mean, as you saw play out in front of your very eyes, the DNC made most of its money from smaller donations, such as like $20, $30.
Right.
And look, and it worked perfectly for them.
It worked so good, and we are in such a good position in this country.
Continue that level of philanthropy.
Christmas is coming.
Favorite. Yeah, and the turkey's getting fat, but not ours.
We're looking forward to our Christmas bonuses that we got last year, Clark Griswold style. I'm putting in a pool out here, you know?
Oh, 100%.
And, I'll take this one step further, actually.
Thank you.
Especially for the Americans out there, you might be feeling a little tired, of politics, of your life. I mean, it's a goddamn impossible way of life. And you know what I like to do when I'm feeling a little tired?
Give us money?
That's one thing I like to do.
Yeah.
But I also like to drink coffee when I'm feeling tired.
Oh, you want to do that right now?
Nice,
I was gonna
Trevor.
wait till 20 minutes, but
no,
if you want to go,
do you
in
have
right
a no
now.
smoke?
Look,
coffee.
If I can't personally handle caffeine because it'll send me.
I was gonna say you don't drink coffee. I've seen you do it accidentally once in a green tea, and it was insane.
Yeah,
all you did was want to play ping pong for like 4 hours.
Yeah, and then I'm out of the session all day. But
yeah, you weren't in the session; you were in a sand pit.
I'll tell you what. When I'm, in the studio, or or just, going through my daily lives, trying to pump up my friends, everybody who's having a hard time in this country. God bless them.
Yeah. God bless the USA, really. That's me.
I almost immediately jump on nosmokecoffee.com.
Yeah.
And I say, friend, do I have a deal for you?
Yeah.
And that's iWall 15.
Well, I'll tell you right now, No Smoke Coffee,
Please.
what does it mean?
Thank you, Trevor.
At its core, what it means is no gimmicks, no grand claims, just good coffee. But I can tell you, if you're not paying $20 a month, you won't be able to see this. Johnny's been drinking No Smoke now probably for about 2 months, and he looks like he's ready for Desert Storm. I'm looking at a photo of him, as a video of him right now. It looks like he's just been dropped in. Like he's locked in, and that's kind of the level of focus you get from No Smoke. But again, if you don't want to focus and you want to relax, it can also do that too. It's a miracle drug. The FDA, especially with Kennedy Jr. coming in, he's going to change things up a little bit because they're trying to hide this stuff from you. Okay?
Yeah.
No Smoke Coffee, the kind of things it can do for you. I mean, we've got Trevor in his Unabomber situation. We've got Johnny's ready for Desert Storm. And all we're doing, I thought, was talking about Ram.
Well,
you're
absolutely
mistaken.
right. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And where there's
100%.
fire, there's burnt coffee or it's too hot. And this is no smoke, so there's no fire. It's just perfect. It's just right.
Every time.
And Trevor, I know what you're saying about like when you have a session, you have some heavy hitters, pun intended. That's the No Smoke brand I drink.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
I like to think of it as like that Sopranos scene where Christopher's trying to get that band to record and he like throws a bag of cocaine at the guy and he's like, do this because they're getting tired. Yeah. It's like that, except you're like, you get on nosmoke.com, use the iWall15 promo code, and you're like, drink this, motherfucker. You're finishing that vocal take tonight.
Yep.
No, but it's a lot less aggro, and he takes one sip and he's like, I feel both energized and calm at the same time, and then he always nails it first take.
Let's put it this way. You might be playing on 12s, but you're going to be ripping, 3-note bends like Gilmore.
Yeah, Gilmore style bends. It takes focus, precision, and relaxation.
You don't even need 10s on your guitar. No. You just need a little bit of No Smoke Coffee.
Until now, only Dave Gilmour and Dimebag Darrell had been able to figure out that kind of vibrato whammy bend. But thanks to No Smoke and, 2 weeks of deep focus, I've figured it out. Anyway, so listen, whether you're a casual morning sipper or a seasoned coffee aficionado seeking the next unique micro lot, No Smoke, we've got something for you. And we've got a great deal for you if you go over to nosmokecoffee.com and go on their website, go to the shop, use promo code IWALL15. You will get 15% off your first order. And I run out all the time. I drink more coffee than I've ever done. And I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but it means that it's addictive. That's all I know.
It just happens when you start, putting that single origin ooey gooey into your veins. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking true.
They say it's hard to quit smoking. You try quitting no smoking.
That's actually, I've not been able to quit either. So
fucking galaxy brain.
Yeah, I can't even think.
But actually, Trevor, thank you for saying that about the patronage, because we haven't actually done that in a while. But the show is growing.
Yeah,
but we have noticed not quite fast enough. So I think there's
it's not at a Tesla level growth.
Yeah, it's kind of like
or a Bitcoin growth level.
We're almost at year 5 here.
Yeah,
and we're working hard. We're doing the pods, and that's nice of you to say, because if you are a continued listener and you're not a patron, think about it, because it really gets us fired up when we get new members of the community. And I mean this seriously. Like, consider it for a few months. See if you like it.
Just like Stephen Stills did on side 4 of the Manassas solo first record. Consider.
I mean, in these troubled times, we all just need some community, and you get twice the pod for your $5.
Yeah. Don't make me go out and get like a framing job.
Oh my God, dude! Can you imagine?
Please.
That's you're too old for that. You're gonna ruin your back.
I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna drink all the time. You don't want to see that downward spiral. Okay.
No way.
No, it'll play out
you're never
much
gonna
like
be able
Trent
to provide
Reznor
for
expected.
Johnny has a fucking kid, you guys.
Seriously.
Are you serious? Right. You guys are out there leeching off the stream.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Thank you. It's
Johnny
true.
has a child.
It's so true.
It's pathetic. I'm calling out everybody right now who's ripping off the RSS feed. You guys haven't talked about this for a while either, but
no.
I never figured
it's concerning, and it speaks to the deep polarization in America. That's for goddamn sure. There's over 50% of the country apparently who feels this way about stuff, and I won't stand for it.
It's one thing if you're going to get your parents' Netflix code.
Totally different.
A $1 billion company, but a mom and pop podcast shop over here.
Yeah, it's totally different. Yeah. It's like it's nothing like if you are using your old roommate's friend's dad's Hulu account, which I'm totally not doing still.
Yeah, you're not.
There's no way.
Definitely not. Anyway, let's give the people a bit of a show here. That was a lot of self-promotion.
Yeah, it was. It was like, that's just definitely a kind of 1-star review right there. There's quite a lot of those
anyway,
on this podcast.
Let's talk Beatles.
Guys, let's talk Beatles.
I'd love to.
We were going to talk about our different panning approaches, though, but maybe
people love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think just as much as the Beatles. I
don't think they do.
Really?
We'll talk about that next time.
Okay.
I'm ready to talk about it.
I saw that James was on.
Let me summarize it.
Okay.
I know for a fact that James Younger is an LCR guy.
Yeah.
There's some under the hood not LCR stuff happening there.
Well, there is for everybody. Anyone who says that they're full LCR, I think is kind of
everything is every single instrument, vocal, synth, whatever it is, in its essence, on its track, is panned LCR in my mixes.
Right. Oh, so you're saying if you're sending it to a reverb, that's okay. So
or a chorus,
for those who don't know
listening.
Yeah, for those who don't know what it is, we should probably not just be. LCR is left, center, right.
Everyone
meaning
knows.
If you're mixing, but some people listening. So if you're mixing, like I know my sister's listening, she doesn't know what the hell that is.
Oh, okay.
So if that means when you're panning instruments in a mix, it's either up the middle, hard left, or hard right. Yeah. But so I know James did this, and then I was mixing my record, I think, my newest record, and I called Trevor because I was I was in a little bit of a identity crisis.
So true.
And I said, Trevor, I need to know. I'm kind of taking tabs of all my friends who mix. Mm-hmm. What do you do? Mm-hmm. And you said that you were not an LCR guy, but then you sort of investigated some mixes and found out that in essence you kind of were as well.
Well, Johnny, I'd love to speak to that. In essence, I'm an LCR guy, but I like to say it's a modified LCR. I'll put stuff at 50%. I'm not too proud.
Well, I'll just say quickly what my philosophy is, because is that I toyed with it, and definitely there are certain things that I believe should be hard panned always. For instance, 2 guitars in a mix or something. Mm-hmm. But I have totally gone the other way. I believe that when I pan things around the spectrum, I can hear them in different spots in my head, so I figure why not use the space? That's my philosophy.
Too true. Do you guys feel like Ram is an LCR record?
Yeah.
I feel like it might be.
100%.
Probably.
Yeah.
There's no way that they did. They surely did. They were fixed EQs at that point.
I'm going to go way out.
Could you not do that back then, James? No. Like, is that really, like, you could only do left, right, and center? There was no in between?
I think that's the issue in those on those Beatles records, is that they were fixed EQs. I mean, someone could tell me otherwise, but I'm pretty sure that's the whole thing. Is it was like the early stereo is fixed EQs. Maybe McCartney could have, but 70. I don't know.
Seems a little early. I think that
by that point you're still like restricted to either left, either right, or both.
Yeah. There was some point in that era where you could, on some consoles, you could get 50 one way by like doing some weird patch trick
thing.
Yeah, but I gotta say, Ram sounds fucking great. Okay, let's get a fucking
Beatles,
going here. Sorry for dropping so many F-bombs to the
Beatles
audience today,
back. I don't know what Ram. Yeah, it's great. I'm not gonna. I don't look. I've been on here many times talking about Ram, and people. I think it's great. Look, compared to most records, I think it's amazing. Like it's Paul McCartney. You know, I just
good.
think. Here's what I'll say. It's full clown.
Of course,
for me in terms of Paul, and I don't think you go full clown. I think it's Paul really feeling himself full clown mode. And I love some of the songs, but as a record on a whole, I just get a little bit. It could use a little injection of the John, George, Ringo energy, for being right after the Beatles.
I would say, despite a lot of kind of Paul cringe on the record, some over adornment, like there's a lot of songs that are maybe too long. There's some really long like outros on this record, but despite that, there to me is something cool in pretty much every song, and for me, it's my favorite Paul record of the 70s.
Wow.
I could even kind of psychoanalyze why that is, Trevor.
Give it to me.
Because Ram is it's proto indie rock. It's the first indie rock record.
It feels that way a bit. I mean, this was
it's the sound of music that now we would describe as indie rock.
You know what? It might be
in the way that it's made, in the way that it sounds, the kind of lo-fi, kind of jangly, like just fun, doesn't really have much. College. It's college.
Yeah. It has a big indie sound to
it. It's an indie sound.
Because it was recorded at like nice studios, though.
Columbia Studios in New York.
Yeah, but it sounds like an indie rock record.
It
does. But I would... Okay, this is very controversial, okay? This morning, I listened to Ram, and I listened to Emmett Rhodes' first album, because Alex was listening to it, and it's kind of an if you know kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm fucking so bored of people telling me to listen to fucking Emmett Rhodes.
I think that Emmett Rhodes record is better than both Ram and McCartney.
Whoa. It is good,
as an indie record, a person working with themselves, pound for pound, song for song.
Yeah,
Band on the Run is better. Like once Paul really gets going, when he gets into Wings.
Well, he gets.
But I think if you're in terms of like a person writing songs and working really hard on arrangements and instrumentation and playing it all and doing all that, I think it's a better record. I know it sounds pitchforkian, but. I just think that there's a lot of holes in the McCartney stuff. He's searching a lot. The first two, I find he's not all there yet in terms of what he wants to do. I don't think.
I think that so Band on the Run is a close second to me, and it's probably I think the most similar to Ram of all of the 70s records, or maybe just like in his solo material in general. But I don't know. I think it's just it is proto indie. Weirdly, I think because it's also kind of gridded. It feels like it's on the grid.
I never thought about that. You think it's the first gridded album?
It feels like it's on the grid, but like he's doing. There's a lot of different players on the record, and then he's kind of like having like. George Martin come in. I don't even know if George Martin and Paul were in the same room together, but he did the string arrangements.
Yeah.
And so it has a very proto big indie feel.
Do you think it's also a beef record? Do you think like Dear Boys about John Lennon and Too Many People's about Yoko and stuff?
Too Many People, I think.
Too Many People is about John Lennon, which I just, happen to know from my extensive internet research this morning.
Paul should
you took a lucky break and broke it in two. You know what I mean?
He shouldn't beef with people. It's like the Drake-Kendrick beef and Paul's Drake.
Yeah, he's not a good beefer.
John threw it down and smoked him, dude.
Way harder, yeah.
What about Three Legs? Is that about
It's about
him and the other guys in the band. Like they have 3, and it's like he's the one.
Oh yeah, probably.
I just not.
Yeah,
maybe
I think you're right. I think you're right. I think
probably.
You're right.
I'm just thinking about
it's a concept record about his breakup with the Beatles.
Yeah, it is maybe.
Yeah,
okay.
I think he was having a hard time.
I think it is.
Yeah, I mean, he was. That was like kind of when the breakup was going on because it was right after.
Yeah,
I mean, it was right after the breakup.
Well, and you know what he said, Paul. You know what I said is that ram. I was thinking about the word ram. And it's, the definition is pushing forward strongly.
Nice.
That's the definition.
Nice one.
So, I was just thinking about my own life, and just getting out of the Beatles, and I thought that's what I need to do.
I think
so. It's all about that, probably.
Well, I'm just also.
What are the other songs?
The back cover has a beetle on it, doesn't it? I'm just realizing now.
Does it really?
Pick the record up, yeah.
I don't have it here, but yeah.
It has a beetle on it on the back.
Yeah.
Or 2 Beatles, one on top of the other, actually.
Oh, really? Having sex.
Yeah.
Oh,
because he was getting fucked by the other Beatles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I found a really funny,
nice one,
just anecdote about him hiring the studio.
Cool stories in rock.
Cool stories in rock. You know what? If you're doing a cool story in rock, I'm getting some tea. I'll see you in a minute.
Let's hear it, Trevor.
Well, I feel like James would be like, this is so short.
Go for it,
but
buddy.
this is the most Paul thing possible.
Okay.
This is him. This is David Spinoza, the session guitarist on the rhythm tracks, talking about his audition. And he said, Paul asked me to play some chords in straight 8th note feel. G to B7.
Wow.
To E minor.
You're talking chords here?
Well,
the guitar player Paul asked him to play G to B7 to E minor.
Which is the most Beatlesy thing. I mean, the B7 chord, that's the...
Well, of course. Yeah.
That's the chord.
I feel like that's a really McCartney-ish progression. G to B7 to E minor.
Yeah, let's hear it, James.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not very Ram, though.
Wait, play it again, those 3, James?
G.
Well, now, on my mind. It's ELO. Bluebird is dead.
Whoa. It feels way more Lennon than McCartney.
It's very Lennon-y.
We are fully just doing... This is just Beato. We're just doing Rick Beato's...
Oh, no. Cheese and onions. It's kind of Ruddlesy.
I'm sorry to everybody listening for that cool stories in rock. I was just trying.
Yeah. Very Beatles. Well, I could see why that would be the audition progression.
Oh, that was the audition. I didn't.
That's how the guy got the gig.
I was genuinely getting a T.
Right.
That's how the guy got the gig.
Yeah, because you have to be able to play a B7.
You got to be able to play a G into a B7. It's a big jump, fingers wise.
What are your guys' favorite and least favorite songs on this record?
Trevor, you should host this podcast.
Seriously.
Happy to.
It's bringing that American energy, I'm telling you. They're different.
Well,
different.
I'm kind of like a day one patron. I've listened to a lot of
You've earned your right. You've paid so much money to get to do this.
I've paid you guys more money than I have any other musician.
Is your shirt undone really low?
I've got a T-shirt on underneath.
They couldn't see the T-shirt. It looked like you were like kind of in. You were in like Criterion. You're like in Miami all of a sudden.
Don Johnson.
Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, favorite songs. I'm just gonna check out the track listing, but
yeah, Johnny, you want to go first?
It's a shame I can't play it because my computer's there's like a saboteur inside it.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite song on it is probably
Backseat of My Car. I think
Heart of the Country.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I really like Heart of the Country. It's a bit schmaltzy, but I think that's, as we talk about Bearded Paul, Farm Paul, kind of is the anthem.
Yeah.
And then, dude, I'm not lying to you, man. I really don't love this album at all. Like,
wow,
I know,
fired.
I like...
Too Many People's cool. Really cool.
Yeah, that one's good. Backseat of My Car is good, but it's a bit much. It's a bit full Macca for me.
Dude, just let it in, man.
Eat at Home I like. It's fun. Monkberry Moon Delight, I know it's kind of cool, but...
That sucks. What's another
Ramon's
day on?
Cool.
What's Another Day on?
That's a single from this era.
Right, that's a really good one.
Yeah. That's better than everything on the record.
Yeah.
Smile Away.
Smiley's favorite.
Yeah.
Least favorite.
I know I'm not disagreeing with you, but it's like, you put this record on and it's a backgroundy thing. It's just kind of hanging out.
I feel like you can throw this one on almost better than any of the other McCartney records. I would say this.
Band on the Run's the most listenable.
Well, I was going to say either
First,
this one or that one.
McCartney's more chill. This one, imagine you're mixing up a martini, everyone's chilling out to Heart of the Country.
Oh, then
and you're like, nice,
Albert's
kind of fun. And then all of a sudden he goes,
side of it.
well, I woke up this morning, a piano up my nose. And you're just like, what?
I mean, it's maybe a bit different for, some guys like kind of hitting 40, but like as a 21-year-old, well, hey, I'm putting myself in the same camp. But,
okay.
I mean, I listened to this record so much in college and
Big in Bellingham, big Bellingham record for you?
Big in Bellingham.
Fuck yeah,
good
dude.
album title.
Dude, you know my CV. There we go.
You and Death
record
Cab.
title.
Yeah, me and Death Cab were listening to Ram a lot together.
Yeah, I don't think they were.
No, definitely not. I don't think they've ever listened to a Beatles record. It's very not Beatlesy. But I think that there's a lot of great songs on this record. I mean, Backseat of My Car, I think, is my favorite, actually.
That one's good.
It just is kind of like romantic and has this I don't know, just feels good. Too Many People rocks. Ram On is good. Dear Boy is good. Dear Boy is kind of Beach Boysy.
Yeah,
Ram On
kind of Beach Boysy.
Yeah, there's some Beach Boysy feels
lesser
going on
than Beach Boys.
Heart of the Country is
it sounds
really
like Beach
good.
Boys made by one person. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
in the Emmett Rhodes style.
So does
the
Emmett
one-man
Rhodes.
Beatles.
Okay, but
Emmett Rhodes is from the same hometown as the Beach Boys.
Emmett Rhodes, those records, I like them too, but they're a little they are maybe slightly more hangable, but the songs are kind of samey, and the fact that it feels so derivative kind of colors it a little bit.
Yeah, but think about
Johnny
the
loves
fact
that
it
kind of
came
shit,
out
though. People who copy the
3 months.
Beatles.
It is
3 months after McCartney it came out. So
Dude,
what was he really? It doesn't sound like the Beatles, really. It sounds like solo McCartney.
It
does.
It is proto heritage revivalism.
I just think it's kind of I'm look, I'm not going to say I know you guys, I'm not going to win that argument, but I'm just saying as an indie record, it's very cool. To
definitely.
me it's more indie than a McCartney record made at A&R Studios in New York. It's like he made it in his garage, in his parents' garage, And I think it's it stood the test of time. I'm just saying I listened to it this morning, and I guess if you didn't grow up with it, it probably won't do it for you now. But the first one really, the tunes are strong,
It is good. I'm not going to debate that. I mean, I've been listening to that record for a long time too. I think that Ram gets me more pumped. It's just more fun. I might skip Smile Away. I'll get into Monkberry Moon Delight. Fire me.
Yeah. But James, also just to what you said, I do like people ripping off the Beatles, but only if it's done right, I really don't like it if it's not done right, but Badfinger or Big Star or Emmett Rhodes or things like this, I do think can be cool if you take the template and make it good, but
for sure,
100%.
Not again. I've been the first to say you can't go full Beatles. You can't go full Beatles, and maybe that's why I shy away from Ram personally.
Didn't Emmett Rhodes go full Beatles?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't.
It is a bit
voice
is it
sounds
kind of
a lot like
ELO
Paul.
a little bit? It was he just picked up where they left off. If
it's
they'd
way
stayed
more
together.
scrappy.
Funkier. It's a lot funkier and like lo-fi.
Yeah.
There's no strings. It's like funky, fuzzy guitar, fuzzy bass lines with like dry, tight drums, and like Paul. It's the fact that his voice sounds nearly identical to Paul McCartney's.
Yeah,
that's the problem. Like that's the reason. But
okay, one thing I'll say about Ram that fucking rules is Linda. Emmett Rhodes does not have Linda, and Linda is very cool on this record. And
what does she do?
It's kind
cool?
I mean, just her BGVs. They're just like raw.
Is that how you in Pro Tools? Is that you're a BGV guy? Not just
I don't
BGs?
add the V. I say BG.
Oh, BG. It might be more of an American feel.
Yeah, I just say BG because it makes me think of the Bee Gees. I like that.
Interesting.
I'll also say, in relation to the Bee Gees, I think this is kind of his Cucumber Castle.
Yeah.
You're damn right. We'll agree there, buddy.
Do you guys like Cucumber Castle? Because I
Hell
love.
yeah, dude.
It's kind of my favorite Bee Gees record. I mean, I love I'll do like the hits. All the disco.
I like them in their medieval garb a lot.
Yeah, it's so sick. Cucumber Castle's so good.
Let me throw this down on you guys.
Please.
Let's go.
I'd argue that maybe Something Anything by Todd Rundgren is more of an indie record than Ram. What year did that come out? 72 or something?
I think it is because
that
it's
makes sense. But you'd also
all recorded on his own again, similar thing.
Or and A Wizard of True Star. What's his band before that called again?
Utopia?
No, Nas or what? No, what was it called?
Oh yeah, the Nas
or whatever.
Like Something Anything has got this a similar energy, chaotic energy to it.
Yeah. But he was already like doing producing Badfinger by then. No, I'm thinking of Runt, the Ballad of Todd Rundgren. That's what I'm thinking
after,
of.
I think. Yeah.
That's before.
That's a good one.
Oh, okay.
Johnny,
never mind.
I think that you showed that to me, Johnny, when I was maybe really early on in our friendship.
Runt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
I like
that
one.
record.
Long flowing robe.
So good.
Long flowing robe sounds like Ram and Emmett Rhodes and all of this. This music to me is all very connected. Very connected. Yeah.
But of course, Paul is making the most studio.
Yeah.
He's got the most resources. He can fly to multiple studios in the US and hire George Martin. And he has access to an early Pro Tools grid.
You think this is gridded? I thought gridding was Marauder adjacent.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like,
he's playing to a click is what you're saying. It might be the first click track record.
I feel like
they had headphones. Headphone technology allowed for a click track.
I was struck listening to it how tight it felt because when I was younger, it's weird because it's, I guess this is just another duality of life here, but, it feels kind of loose for how gridded it is, and that's part of what makes it so cool. There's a little bit of reckless abandon on it. I think
definitely is. I listened to it yesterday. I was recording yesterday on the Little Mountain SSL console.
Very Beatlesy.
The opposite of Beatles, basically. It's literally fucking Pump was recorded on this console.
Yeah.
And Slippery When Wet or something. And I was in there, but as I was resetting the console because I was the last one, I didn't want the house engineer to come in today and be pissed off that
really nice
one of the 1084s was in the wrong, shelf was on or something. I listened to Ram in there, and it sounded really good.
It sounds so good. I feel like I would be fucking thrilled if I can make a record sound that good. There's some kind of
of course.
There's
not.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, not as in a competitive way, but it just sounds so awesome. There's something. It has a bit of grit, but it also is soft at the same time. Just tonally.
Don't you think he takes risks on it? Because it doesn't sound nearly as hi-fi as Lennon at that time.
I think that especially his vocal approach has some thrill of risk. It's like,
like thinned out, distorted, weird vocals at times.
And he's doing weird shit. I would imagine that
you're gonna say that the vocals have more thrill of risk than Plastic Ono Band. That's
no,
that's
I'm not
the most
that.
thrill of risk of any record ever. Probably.
I'm not saying that. I just think that it does have thrill of risk, and
not in terms of performance, but in terms of maybe like
I don't know. I think performance
effects or something.
I think even in performance a bit, because like for as cheesy as you could initially find a tune like Monkberry Moonlight to be, there are some moments in there where he's really fucking going for it. He's doing the Paul scream,
but he'd been doing that for like 4 years already.
Totally.
It's nothing new compared to what Paul had done on Magical Mystery Tour,
he's still
the
doing
White Album. Like he was goofing around on the White Album doing that stuff.
He's going for it though, and like I think that Linda adds to the thrill of risk score because she is sort of like, an untrained vocalist, and she sounds awesome. And there's something about her
indie rock.
It has
I'm not throwing any shade at Linda. That's for sure.
Her sort of like
her body's not even cold, man.
I don't know how to describe it, but there's something about like if you were an indie rock band, like she's the person in the band who's like,
she's Zia McCabe. She's Zia McCabe.
She's like, I don't really know how to play my instrument, but like the sound coming out of me just like sounds raw and cool. So we're just gonna go with it.
Here's my look. I think you guys, I'm with you on all that. The record is interesting. The mixing is interesting. The production is interesting. Paul's, like I say, I hear it as like a searching record, trying to figure out where he wants to go, and he's not there yet. That's the way I hear it.
It's a beef record.
It is a beef record too. But my argument is more to do with the songs and the fact that if I go through this track listing, I can think of a better version of almost every song that comes within 3 years of this. Like, if I look at Eat at Home, I prefer Hi, Hi, Hi or Junior's Farm to Eat at Home. If I look at Backseat of My Car, I prefer My Love to Backseat of My Car. I could kind of go through, and I think he's just not quite there yet in terms of, like, once he gets to some of those, gigantic singles that came,
but as an album,
after.
as opposed to your Spotify playlist style reductionism of like singles, like as an album, it's better than fucking Back to the Egg or whatever.
I was
we don't know yet.
We
don't know yet.
True.
Time will tell.
I was going to say the exact same thing, James. Like, front to back as a collection of songs, in a pre-playlist environment. In a pre-wedding DJ Spotify curated playlist environment, as a chill beats to study to environment.
That's what Johnny mostly listens to, though.
Yeah,
that's
chill
why
beats to frame to.
Wedding DJs, you're not wrong. Yeah.
Guys, I think we need to cut to the chase here and maybe just start fucking ranking.
Rank it? Yeah. Well, yeah.
I just want to say one thing.
It's more conceptual, for sure.
I just want to say one thing. Mm-hmm. Have you ever considered if it's possible to bend a guitar string in a non-bluesy way?
Isn't that what Gilmore does? No, it's bluesy.
It's as bluesy as hell.
What about in like a My Bloody Valentine kind of way?
Are they bending?
I mean, yeah, with a whammy bar.
What about Eddie Van Halen?
It's pretty bluesy. Is it? Well, you're right. I guess.
It's power blues.
What about like Josh Homme?
That's blues to me.
That's blues.
Yeah. It's just a different.
Definitely.
That's a really good point.
So maybe My Bloody Valentine, I can see that.
I think in a shoegaze sort of way, because I feel a little attacked right now. I'm kind of playing like an indie rock, psych rock kind of show on Friday where I'm playing guitar and I'm
got your MIDI verb out for it.
Now you're getting your own head about whether you can do it.
Whether you can bend without being bluesy. Yeah.
I don't even fucking know anymore. I mean, look, there's a lot of effects going on.
All I'm saying is that you can hide behind as many effects as you want, but when you fucking bend a guitar string, it's gonna sound more blues than non-blues. Whatever
James,
happens.
James, I feel pretty weird about it right now.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to use the whammy bar instead of bending.
Oh, it's all whammy bar. It's all
Surf.
whammy bar. Yeah,
Yeah,
surf.
I didn't
surf.
I'm thinking back to even like Shiloh's. I don't think I bent ever because we didn't want to sound bluesy.
You were scared to bend, even though your songs were super pentatonic.
Yeah, surf is blues,
them,
I think.
Actually, there are some bends probably.
Is surf blues?
Yeah.
I think so.
It's Polynesian meets blues. Because it's on the water.
Wait, you're getting me in my head now too. Shiloh's is super pentatonic?
Thinking about like "Gotta Get Ready Now" and whatever.
Dude,
that
it is
riff
so,
is pretty.
It is so hard not to do blues. I don't know. There's some songs on your.
It's kind of more
on your guys'
blues.
last record.
It's hard blues. I would say the Shiloh's are a hard blues band.
Last record has some blues. You're right.
But,
is that what you're going to say, Trevor?
Well, I was going to say, I mean, yes, but I also think that you get into some weirder non-blues. What do we even call non-blues? I'm so confused right now.
The last record, yeah, it's probably the least bluesy, actually,
yeah,
when I think about
which
it.
I would encourage.
But this shows, this is interesting, because I've only just thought about this. Like, so
I can't figure it out.
You think bending, you were aware in the Shallows of what you're saying, that bending was too bluesy.
There were discussions about
There
this.
was heated debates. Because I imagine Mike wanted to bend occasionally.
He did. But it was like, there was like, that, if you do a solo and it'd be like that, it'd be like, why don't you just play the next note up on the fretboard instead of bending? We would have these discussions.
I am kind of thinking in like a Verlaine sort of way.
Exactly.
Like you can
exactly.
It's pretty straight.
Angular. Straight.
But there's an occasional bend, but I think he only gets away with it in a non-blues way because there's such a lack of bending otherwise.
Yeah.
If you can do one bend for every 200 notes.
That's the bit of Marquee Moon that gets kind of technical. And like Days, there's a lot more bending on that, on Adventure. Like, so then it kind of gets a bit like dadcore, like.
And as I've said before,
Richard Lloyd, I feel like he's bending.
Yeah,
that's probably why they broke up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. And like, think about Real Estate. Like, I don't know that there's one bend on any record.
No, I don't think they've ever been.
They've never been a bend.
No.
Lesson to you young rockers
I'm willing
out
to
there.
say that.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. Bending's a big thing. I was thinking about it last night. I was talking to Luke about it. It seems like it's a big issue. In terms of
did
really...
Mac DeMarco bring back the bend?
The ironic bend.
Yeah, the ironic
it's
bend. He did.
It's an ironic thing.
It's ironic. Yeah.
This is really changing my whole life right now in the way that I'm thinking.
And then obviously, it's either ironic or full blues like Black Keys.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when we do it as a band, it's blues. Like when my band
it is, of course.
It's full blues.
Yeah, it is.
Like we want it to be. Hard blues. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
What was that? What's that song? Oh, Zeppelin. Yeah.
Nice.
Blues.
They bend.
Exactly. They bend very bluesy.
Yeah.
Yo, bend. Page will bend.
Okay, but Ram, maybe not a lot of bending.
Is there any bending on it?
McCartney bends a ton.
Does he?
His lead guitar playing is bluesy as all hell.
I think that there's other lead guitar players on this record too.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of other people. There's like two other guys. The guy who had to learn the B7, and then there's some guy who played in Aretha Franklin's band who did the rest of it.
I'm sure he's pretty good.
Maybe I'm amazed.
Cool stories. Oh, he's so bluesy.
What about Something by George Harrison? That's pretty bluesy.
That's bluesy for sure. Yeah.
There was still riffs
Beatles
to be played
blues.
though.
You could bend in the
Beatles
60s.
You said that dead seriously. Yeah, Beatles is bluesy. Yeah.
In the 60s, you could bend.
By the
And it wasn't
70s,
cheesy. Eagles kind of ruined Joe Walsh. Then you sound like Joe Walsh or something.
Which is hard blues.
Right. Yeah. But Beatles, in the 60s, you could still it's like Donovan and stuff. They're bending. But it's still kind of folky. Yeah, it's still kind of folky or something.
Can you bend on a sitar? Does it sound bluesy?
Whoa.
I think it does.
if you don't know how to play sitar and you're ironically playing it, you're just playing blues on a sitar.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that.
Some people do that. Like even when George does it, it's probably like more blues than Indian classical music. You know,
yeah, exactly, 100%.
Because it's hard to reframe your mind. It's like Luke talking about how he had to unlearn all his blues to join Hot Heat.
Yeah.
You need like an ayahuasca trip to unlearn blues.
Blues you're playing, yeah.
I feel like I got to cancel the rest of my week right now.
I'd be concerned about if you're playing in a shoegaze band. I'd be concerned about how far you bend those strings. That's all.
It's more.
Get a heavier gauge going. Yeah. It'll restrict.
Well, I'll tell you what. I switched to 11s from 10s, and I think that helped. But fuck, I just don't even know what to do with myself anymore.
Try and
use piano wire, man.
Weaken your core. Weaken your core strength. That's what you could do. So you don't have the physical strength to bend.
That's a good idea.
That's very kind of sappy fest indie rock.
I'm gonna do a lot of eating after dinner, watching TV,
sitting. Just mixing,
sitting,
honestly.
Yeah, laying. I'm gonna do a lot of. Well, I don't think I can mix or work on music until I
figure out
blues,
this problem. Yeah.
Apparently, yeah. I am a bit scared that we're not going to have time to rank.
Oh, we have
RAM.
time.
We do?
Okay.
We've ranked in like 2 minutes before.
Okay.
RAM, hangability.
We're 52 minutes in, so we've got...
This is perfect.
It's perfect.
ramability. 8 minutes. Ramability. What's the ramability score?
Ramability is 10.
Ramability score is definitely 10.
I'll give it a 10.
Pushing forward ramability score. There's no other ramability record that's
based on it being
a
pushing forward idea. It's not that ramability is pretty low. Like definitely like Plastic Ono Band is got a higher ramability score.
Oh yeah,
than Ram.
Yeah. If you're thinking of more like
even All
truck,
Things Must Pass has a weight.
It does. Ram is pretty Beatlesy.
It's really Beatlesy.
It sounds like Abbey Road.
It is. Yeah.
Do you know what upsets me a bit about it?
Oh boy,
is that because obviously it's tough because it sort of does feel like he thought he was like, I'm going to make the record that's better than Abbey Road and prove these fuckers wrong.
Yeah,
and his hubris got in the way. I just hope that wasn't what he was
to the
thinking.
point that he's talking about it on the record. He made a beef record.
There is some diss track in there.
Take this, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
The record is so fun though, and like
it is fun.
It is, and I think he's happy. He's happy. That's the thing that's confusing.
Uncle Albert sounds like elephants marching.
Yeah.
Also, the butter pie thing makes me think he's doing John Lennon a bit there.
Yep.
That's a good riff.
Part,
good
that
riff.
Is good. Trumpet part of
Great riff.
Uncle Albert
fucking rips,
is, I would say, #1 all-time clown moment in music. Doesn't get any clownier than that in any music.
I would say it's a pretty good clown moment, though.
It is, but I'm basically say good or bad. It's just the most clown.
It's basically a kazoo.
What Beatles song is it really reminiscent of, though? What's the other song that has like the pocket
butter
trumpet?
Milk, so we put it in a pie.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Somebody's screaming right now. It's this, you
what
idiot.
the trumpet line?
The trumpet thing is really similar to another Beatles song. It's like I think
Someone
it's on Abbey Road.
Peppers.
What, Penny Lane?
Is that it?
There's a big trumpet solo on Penny Lane.
Penny Lane, where I like to go to eat pasta.
See, Paul's been doing this shit since 1965.
Since Rain. Paperback writer.
If that would be sick though. If you're like, I don't know if it's sick, but it's cool that he's got the trumpet trick to pull out. Not a lot of people have that. It's very non-blues. He's got it in his arsenal.
Yeah.
He's got.
He can get away with a lot.
Listen,
look, it's great.
Brian Wilson was using fucking fruit. To do that kind of stuff and like
barnyard animals
and shit.
Yeah, you try
put a ram on the cover. He'll bring one in the studio and mic it up.
Exactly. See what it has to say for itself. Get it singing fourth harmony on some of these kind of
teach it the harmony.
Yeah, work around what it's doing.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to make a flute out of an apple. I'll give him that.
Yeah,
he did
make a bong out of one.
Yeah, I know. True that. A bapalong.
Mm-hmm.
So sick.
I'd say hangability.
I don't know. I'm gonna say 5, but you guys do
7.
7.
I think.
Trevor, are you gonna hit up taco time today?
I think so. They have some new menu items I'm pretty excited about.
It's a very different situation down there in Washington.
It's really different, yeah.
If hangability, so the 3-tier person
6
ranking,
is fine.
No. If you guys both say 7 and I say 5, that's you win at 7, right? Yeah.
Sure, why not?
That's how it works,
we normally
and
just
then if
agree.
James had said 6, I said 5, you said 7, it's 6.
We normally just kind of agree. It's not much riding on it, you know what I mean? We normally just kind of...
Technical.
7.
Pretty good.
I would
7.
say, at least 7 because it's well arranged, or well, quote unquote, depending on how you think about it. I mean, there's some cheesy shit for sure, but
but that doesn't matter. It's even
still
more
technical. It's
me.
very
the
technical.
cheesy stuff.
Yeah. 100%.
I'd almost go 8. Paul's always super
honestly
techy,
it is one of, if you really think about it, well, I don't know, it
maybe
is a
7,
lot of blues.
7.
I think
it's
7
one of
is
his
fair.
least technical records.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, McCartney being the only one less technical.
There's so many like scene changes and stuff, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but that's technical.
Yeah,
it's
but
technical.
It's not like speed of sound level.
No,
that's
or
true.
Like
when he gets
Ebony
in the
and
pocket,
Ivory,
technical. Yeah,
but
the girl is mine.
Very much in the pocket there.
Natural.
6, 5 or 6.
I don't know.
5,
I feel like
5.
I think because it's such a fun, like sort of, I mean, besides the diss track element to it, since it's so cheerful and fun, I feel like I feel like it's kind of,
It's
he's
pretty
channeling.
It's pretty Muzak-y, dude.
Yeah, but he's still like,
It's not very soulful.
It's not like natural
not Mother.
soulful blood on the tracks.
It's not,
Yeah,
it's not
I don't know,
really got like
I
a
feel like
desire vibe.
there's still some like emotive.
It's not God only knows, man.
But
There's some
5
deep
or
emotive
6 being
stuff. I will
it's
say
not
there is
sitting on the dock of the bay,
No.
There are some sort of, as there are a lot of times with McCartney, there's some vapid lyrical content.
It's 5, and that's generous on this record.
I think so. There'd be very few McCartney musical moments that I would put even above a 7 or something. Even in the Beatles.
I don't know. I kind of want to give him at least a 6 because, like,
you've paid us a lot of money on Patreon, so
more than
have the 6.
You can have a 6.
More than I've probably paid you guys more than I've paid any other musician.
I think early Beatles is like an 8 or 9 in terms of Paul natural ability when he's doing like I Saw Her Standing There.
Yeah,
that's like just full energy, rock and roll energy.
Him and John, the Beatles get balanced out, technical and natural by each other. They're yin and yang energy. Like John's technical's low, natural high. Paul's the other way around, but this is probably his lowest technical score.
To me, the more Paul is thinking, he keeps, as he evolves from 1963 onward, starts thinking more and more and more about how he's going to arrange things, how he's going to do this. Right. That to me just gets more technical and less natural.
I saw an interview the other day with just like, it's like it came on Instagram of like John Mayer.
Yeah.
And he was this is kind of relates to me in my mind to like Paul McCartney, where he's feeling himself so hard in this interview. And he thinks he's come up with like this like insane like concept of writing, where he's like, sometimes I'll make music. Basically, what he's describing is like he's trying to write hits, but he's found a philosophical way to describe what he's doing as being like revelatory, like Paul would do this, where it's like, I'm writing stuff like, and I'm starting to trip out. I'm starting to think, well, I mean, I've written a lot, and I'm starting to think now, what if I write something that I don't like? But future me will like.
Oh my God.
Future me will like it because it'll become a hit. And then it's like, you can't predict how you'll feel about it. So what if I write something that I think's terrible, but I know that it's going to do well? Is that wrong as an artist? Or am I just thinking about myself in the future liking my music? Because I'm not even there yet to like it.
Oh my God. He's lost.
Well, it's Paul writing songs thinking I want them to be hits. He's not that close to the music. He's like removed slightly from it.
Yeah, and that's actually, it's true, actually. Yeah.
There is an element of that going on here. And I think also just as an aside, I was gonna try and introduce you guys today, and I was gonna say that
whose podcast is this?
That you are
introduce us,
James Hotter Than Mayor Younger.
Okay.
Wow.
And Johnny Farm Paul Payne.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Just so you know.
What the hell is going on here?
I think we can give him. I'm okay with a 5. Honestly, I get it for natural.
Yeah.
What's next?
Live perform. You know, like Blackbird to me is like an 8 natural.
Even that. He's writing it thinking about something else. He's retrofitted civil rights into it now.
Yeah.
That's literally the mayor.
The only stuff
What
is
if
like
I write something
Hamburg.
that's so open and universal, I can just apply meaning to it as time goes on?
Yeah, he's pandering a bit.
A visibility, though, I mean, like, is like, no, I'm with you, dude. Live performance, Ram.
It's a well-played record.
It is good.
It's good.
And I was reading that they spent a day for each song on the basic tracking, on the bed tracks, as James would say.
He's definitely a fucking player at this point. I mean, Heart of the Country, his acoustic guitar work, everything is dialed.
Again, it sounds like a Pro Tools grid.
7.
But,
7's good for me.
Yeah, let's go 7.
Sex appeal.
It's pretty sexy.
Yeah.
It's a good era for him.
And Linda.
Yeah. It's very cool. And like I
romantic record.
I like the cover too, honestly. I think the cover is cool.
Come on, little lady. Lady, let's eat at home.
There's nothing
Kinda
sexier
sexy.
than that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you know that song Hi, Hi, Hi? Do you know that the lyric that goes, I want you to lie on the bed, get you ready for my body gun.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Honey gun.
Yeah.
Whoa. Calm
Get
down,
you ready
Paul.
for my honey gun.
Holy
Never had
shit.
sex.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
gun.
7 again.
Sure, 7's good.
Yeah.
7 or 8, yeah.
I mean, it is a high.
He's not in the Beatles anymore.
Wait, was this fashion? Is that what we're doing?
Sex appeal.
Sex appeal.
Not in
I
the
mean,
Beatles anymore, is he?
7.
It's a good. Yeah, let's say 7 because I feel like 7.
Fashion.
I mean, it's a good era. I would say 8 maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Business
I kind
acumen.
of want it to be done now, honestly. Business acumen, not that good for Paul.
No, he kind of blew it.
6.
It got really bad reviews.
6.
Did it really?
People like it now, so he's going to make
People
it
like
up
it
in
now,
time.
but that's more
There's no
endurance.
singles. No singles off it.
Yeah, it's not. Well, Another Day is separate.
Yeah, but it's not on it.
6, sure.
That's high. There's no fucking Imagine on it.
I would say. I would be willing to go 5.
5.
Imagine fucking smokes this, dude.
Imagine.
It's insane how much better Imagine the song is than this album.
It's still Paul McCartney though, and like we're saying, he is pandering to the audience a bit.
5.
He's like,
It's 5.
I'm gonna arrange.
He's trying,
this thing.
but he's failing a bit.
Yeah.
But he's still trying.
It's 5. Business acumen.
Yeah.
Yeah. He should have just stayed in the Beatles.
Jesus
That would have
Christ.
been an 8.
Yeah.
Innovation. I don't think it's high.
5. I mean,
Sounds like
he's
Really?
Sounds
he
like
invented it
Octopus's
though.
Garden.
No one else can do it. No one else can do it.
Is this record just one big Octopus's Garden?
Sounds like fucking Octopus's Garden, dude.
I love that song though.
Me too. But he'd already done it when he produced Abbey Road.
That's so funny.
I don't know,
okay.
6?
6
Because
is
he's
good,
like
yeah. It's Paul
playing on his
McCartney,
own a bit
dude.
and shit.
6.
Wait, what's the category again?
Innovation.
Innovation.
The bedroom thing you guys are talking about, but like I don't know.
I think
I
it's
think
still
like
got made it in.
like-
6.
I think a 6. I think a 6 is fair. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Beatlesy as all hell.
Yeah.
Endurance. It has hung
It
around.
certainly has. I would say 8.
Yeah,
It hangs around more. It hangs around more than better records of his.
it does. Yeah, annoyingly so.
For you.
No, I'm kidding. I like it. I
Okay,
do
so
like
let's do 8 for that.
8's good.
Okay.
Legacy. is high too. Maybe
9.
8 too. 9.
8 or 9.
People love it. 8.
I love it, dude.
Yeah, I think that it's stood the test of time, and like,
yeah.
Well,
8. I think people still love it. Like it's revered.
Yeah. Let's go 8.
Sure. Okay. The rankings don't lie. I can say all I want, but you'll see it's going to beat McCartney.
Of course it will.
Didn't McCartney get like a 70 or something?
70, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I like it a lot better, but you'll see. Even in spite of my efforts,
I don't know. I'm not convinced yet. I want it to.
Wait a minute, you're right. It only got a 68.
Fuck.
What did it lack in here? Natural. Yeah. Stand by it. And business. That's the only difference.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't have singles, and it
I think business was good for McCartney because he was like ushering him, his way into a solo career. Plus, maybe I'm Amazed, big hit. Getting it out at the same time as the Beatles to divert the attention away from Beatles to himself. Mm-hmm. Good business move.
Yeah.
And then in terms of natural, yeah, McCartney's just a bit more fluid, a bit more soulful to me.
I'm just looking here still. I know we got to go now, but like I'm on Spotify and it kills me that like Paul McCartney would be getting crushed by John Lennon and probably by George for his solo stuff, obviously not including Wings, except for the fact his top song is that one with Kanye and Rihanna, which he's not even on, 4-5 seconds. That's the song that keeps him up there. And he did it for that reason. You know he did it for that reason.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to take a lot of heat on the Discord for this one. I know that.
I mean, I kind of feel like, you guys didn't have like a counterpoint for McCartney. And yeah, the Discord might be a little...
I bet he had some counterpoint melodies for it that he could have applied onto it. Melody machine. I guess.
There we go.
Look, we love Paul. For me, this is... I want to see what happens when we get to Venus and Mars,
Yeah.
I want to know what's going on
town.
there. And we'd love to have you back, Trevor. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Yeah, it's nice to speak to you. I'm going to fix my computer now.
We miss you, man.
Really nice to talk to you guys. Miss you guys too.
Peace and love.
Bye-bye.
Peace.